and surf clutches! Mirage will not be able to do this at all. They wait till next week to see if they go to the major.
We enter the final Playday of 2022 in the North American League, and still 2 spots remain unconfirmed for the Jönköping Major. The next 2 matches will decide who competes in Sweden and who goes home. First, Mirage take on the Soniqs. Both stand at 15 points. The winner will lock in 3rd place to qualify, while the loser leaves their fate in the hands of the following match. Astralis battle Oxygen next. Although Oxygen are already eliminated from major contention, a regulation win would move them up to 5th place, guaranteeing them a spot at the 6th Invitational, the pinnacle of the competitive season, where Siege crowns its world champion. Astralis need a win to have a chance at overtaking the loser of the Mirage Soniqs match. A regulation win for Astralis, combined with a regulation loss for either Mirage or Soniqs, will confirm Astralis for the major. Anything else, and the results are up for tiebreaker decisions and out of their hands. 3 teams, 2 spots. Who gets left behind, and who will advance on his final Playday in the North American League?
Well, there you have it, all laid out. It's Soniqs versus Mirage for a spot in the Sweden Major. Now, whoever loses this one still has a chance of going through, but their fate is no longer in their hands. So they want to win it right here, guarantee that spot. And what a turnaround from stage 1, right? We have Soniqs and Mirage in this matchup to decide who goes to a major, right? These are 2 teams that have more than struggled, I would say, at times throughout the year, but here they are, both looking very strong. Which one of them goes through?
In stage 2, it was Soniqs versus Mirage to play, and Soniqs just needed to beat them to qualify to the major, and they lost 7-5. Probably the biggest upset of the stage. Now, Soniqs did eventually qualify through other means, but still, this team has been a roadblock for SQ, and when Super was on the desk a couple weeks ago, he was looking at the schedule with us, and he said something. He said, yeah, we play Mirage last. Hopefully, we'll already be qualified by then, so we don't have to repeat last stage. And well, Seth, it seems like your nightmare may be coming true.
The problem is not necessarily just winning this game, or like the result of this game is not the only thing that's going to determine who ends up qualifying, because we still have the Astralis game immediately afterwards. So just taking a look at your screen, the winner of Soniqs Mirage goes. Regulation, overtime, does not matter because they're both tied on points at the minute, and no one is going to come out, or they cannot come out tied on points once this game is done, which means the loser of that game then waits to see how dominantly Astralis beats OXG, if that even happens at all. If for some reason OXG ends up winning that game, then the loser of this game is going to be able to sit way pretty. They don't have to worry about it. They will still eclipse Astralis in points, and it'll be the big red out of their major instead. I
think if this graphic confuses you, it's okay. Just keep in mind, if you're a Sonic Mirage fan, win and you're in, lose, and stick around for next pre-show, because that'll simplify things a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have much more of a better idea about which of these scenarios will be in play after this one. But yeah, I mean, there's history. There's NAL history from this year on the line with that. A big part of that is Mirage, obviously a team that struggled a lot over the course of the year. Adding a couple new people in this time around, Stage 3 has gone much better, but still obviously things this team can work on.
Yeah, for sure. I think Mirage have definitely not looked the greatest in every stat that they've played so far. One of them being entry stats, 44% opener. It'd be incredibly difficult to qualify for the major with that stat. They're likely going to have to raise that in this match here against Soniqs. It's bottom 2 currently in the league. I think most of those entry troubles are kind of coming from players like Dexter and Kento, both of who are 7-5 right now on entry. I noticed on attack, a lot of their clears are kind of just focused around, let's walk in, let's take these fights.
Yeah.
And sure, sometimes there's intel there, but a lot of times there's still utility in pockets when players are going in. I feel like Dexter has not done a great job at using his nades, using his flashes to give himself those advantage. So I want to see Mirage, when they're on attack, if they can get more of those opening picks, perhaps by utilizing some of that, maybe vertical pressure or grenades or some sort of way to get those openings and turn around the entry game, because that's going to be so important in this match against SQ.
This team is solely focused on taking the gunfights, which on defense works phenomenally because it means they get to set the tempo. When attacking teams try to come against them and the positions that they hold, it means Mirage are the ones to actually dictate the pace of the round. But on attack, it doesn't work in quite the same way, because as much as they may be reliant on their gun skill, there's always something that seems like it's lacking, whether it's immediate positioning or setting up for a crossfire or droning, or something about the way that they set up for the execute means that it's not the exact same Mirage when they attack. on defense, they are still fantastic as far as the rest of the overall league is concerned. They currently sit in second place on defense, 63% win rate, but it's on the flip side. They are one of the worst, almost the worst attacking team in the league. If I had to look at all three of the teams that are still left in major qualification potential, I kind of don't want Mirage to go to the major because we understand that attacking deficiency is going to be the single biggest thing that other teams in the major are going to prey on. So if they want to go to the major here, they really need to blow Soniqs out of the water and do it completely.
Building on your point, Jacob, Mirage have notably started on defense for their last 7 games in a row.
I'm sorry?
I want to see, although their attacks have struggled, I want to see maybe if they start on attack, they can keep some of those lessons in their minds, bounce that back. Potentially could be a way back into this game against SQ.
Well, let's talk about SQ a little bit more then. Soniqs over on the other side, they are coming into this one maybe statistically a little bit better on, or average-wise on attack and defense. But Mirage, like we just talked about earlier, did knock them out of major contention back in state. Well, no, it made it difficult. They did make it to the major.
They did. Yeah.
They did.
You could almost forget that they made the major
Trust.
in a certain extent. But here they are again, looking better than ever. What do you think?
I mean, you talk about that opening pick that we mentioned for Mirage, and versus Astralis, it really didn't go the way of SQ. They didn't win a single opening pick on defense. They got run over time and time again. They didn't have anything to slow Astralis down. This last week, they've looked pretty poor. They haven't really been looking like themselves. They started off as kind of a super team, #1 in the league throughout the first couple of weeks, but then coming in through week 4, they really struggled to put anything together. They're going to try to turn that around here today.
Hopefully it's the kind of thing where Gunnar can settle down and continue to do that. I feel like he came into this team, everyone already understood what his skill set was and the best ways that he could get utilized. But then he's on a team that still has Grixer and Rexen and Kansan all on it, and he hasn't had to do anything nearly that crazy, and yet there are still some times where it's maybe preemptively pushing a position before he needs to, or dying early with utility that otherwise would be helpful at later points in a round. Sometimes it feels like on attack, like those very, very small things can get cleaned up, and when they do, it feels like the Soniqs are still a very unbeatable team on attack. They're still second rated overall. They're several points above the average. They're only a little bit behind TSM in that regard, and the two teams have been fighting back and forth about which team is more consistent on attack this entire stage. But I feel like for Soniqs, it's just the very small, minute details, the minutia of how you play into your overall round timing and when exactly to push. And if they manage to qualify for the major, it's going to look considerably better, and there's a lot more hope going for them in the Sweden major overall.
There's two players that have really stepped up for Soniqs and been kind of pillars of this team. I think Rexen and Grixer have been two of the best players in all of North America, and many people have called Grixer the best player in the world. I think most of the people that would call him that are probably watching the Super co-stream right now, or maybe the Joe Bro co-stream. That's an opinion that gets sputtered around Sonic fans a lot. But whether he's the best or not, he certainly had a great stage. Last week, however, did turn it around. Both Grixer and Rexen ended up going negative, and SQ fell apart. Grixer's fall off was perhaps a little bit more dramatic. They may as well not have even shown up against OXG, and then he put up kind of an average game against Astralis. Rexen's stats I don't think were as bad last week, but especially versus Auction, he was being put into good positions and then often just not really doing anything with those spots. So if Grixer and Rexen can turn things around, I think this is probably an easy game for Mirage. But if they continue to struggle like we saw from them last week, this could get very, very messy for Soniqs.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see what they can do. Pretty much. We're waiting to get the map vetoes in. They're on the way. But so let me ask you this, because we don't get to do this very often. Any predictions?
For map vetoes?
Any guesses?
Or for
map vetoes.
Well, I'll tell you
we'll
one
get to
thing.
the real predictions later for them.
I mean, they don't really have like crazy congruous map pools aside from Oregon. They both love playing it, but it's a matter of win rate.
This is the thing. Both teams really have two maps that they're good at, and we'll talk it as they kind of come up. Both teams have two maps that they really play and have shown to be strong on. Mirage play Villa and Theme. They're both very good at those maps. Soniqs play Club and Oregon. They're both very good at those two maps. Those should be pretty quick bans for their opponents, and we see 3 of them, I believe, banned out now. Club, Villa, and Theme all gone, and there goes Oregon as well in the first 5 bans. The other 2 bans here are going to be interesting. Mirage go for Chalet, SQ go for Skyscraper. Interesting they have to go for Sky there. Not been one that we've seen a lot from Mirage as of recent. However, it's the one that they choose to take out of the pool.
It's curious that we still see Cafe up this late, and it's something that the Sonics can still take out if Mirage opt not to work with it themselves. Mirage have only played it one time so far this whole year, and they lost it in pretty bad fashion, so they will just remove it, but now it gives Sonics license to pick the Battleground instead, which is a lot more control than I think maybe they were anticipating. So it's Bank or Border, and it's Border, which I like on paper simply for the way that the map plays, but neither team has played it in quite some time. Mirage, last time they played it was a loss back in Stage 2. Sonics haven't played it since Stage 2 as well, so we're looking at like a 3-month deficit since the last time we saw either one of them go to it, and it's going to come down to overall aggressiveness. And the other point about that, Mirage are starting on defense for what, the 8th consecutive map now? So if there's going to be a streak coming out, Mirage are starting on their favored side, and they really need to make the most of it. If we see even a 3-3 half here, I'm concerned for Mirage's chances.
Well, let's see how concerned you are for Mirage's chances, because it's time to make some predictions. Now, we'll get to Jacob and Jesse in a moment. First, we have to go back to Penguin and Taro. Predictions first time around today did not go super great. You both picked Space Station, didn't work out. Do you think you have a better call for this one?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's a hard one to predict, isn't it?
We were at 50% going into this, so I mean, we're no better than a coin.
Well, hey, that's what we're here to test, isn't it?
Technically, we're a little bit better.
I was going to say, yeah, but
Technically.
tiny bit.
The
I don't know.
day is young. The day is young, Pengu.
You want to do the split? You pick one, I'll pick the other?
All right, so
Who do you want? What's your gut feel?
I actually want Mirage to go, just because I want to see the young boys, the new squad, international stage. I think getting more, experience across NAL, so to speak, is great for the scene. But I really want both to go. So I'll be okay with, so one of them wins right now, and Asharis loses later, and then maybe they both go. I don't know. That's possible, right? Can I?
No, you have to pick one.
That's not what?
Okay,
the hell?
That's
That's
not
not
a
how
choice.
it works. You have to pick one.
I'll just take Mirage. The young boys.
All right, there you go.
My heart was saying Mirage as well.
Yeah.
Just because of my ties to the organization.
Still can.
I can
You're
still go
biased?
Mirage. I'm not biased. I don't care what.
Yeah,
team
what
it
ties do you have to the organization?
Yeah, that's
Not even wearing a tie.
was. No ties. Only turtlenecks here.
I could see that.
No, I'm
Right,
just friends with
well,
a lot. I'm friends with a lot of the people that work at Northern Arena. I'm friends with some of the people who work for Mirage. So it's just like that's it. But I mean, I'm the same with the Sonics as well.
Okay.
Right.
Didn't mention that, but sure.
I mean, frankly, I think Sonics are going to win. So that's my prediction. Do I want Sonics
we
to
gotta
win?
change it then.
I kind of, yeah. I mean, you got to change it here. You got to change it on the bottom. Yeah.
Give them a Sonics.
I think Sonics are going to win, but I don't. I want Mirage to go because I want them a guaranteed spot in the major. That's what I want.
Okay.
But I think
All right,
Sonics-
all right. Fair enough. So one for Sonics, one for Mirage. We'll check back in with the two of you, and the map is about to start. And now it's time to check in with our analysts. Jesse, go ahead and go first this time.
Well, I think it's kind of an interesting situation because you've got two teams I think started pretty strong. Sonics obviously dominant and then fell off last week. Mirage have been a little bit more up and down. However, losing to Beast Coast was definitely a big red flag for me. I think the problem is just that Sonics have been more consistent from game to game. Sure, Mirage can start off with awesome leads, but they've thrown so many games in this league.
Very
and given
true.
how much pressure is on this match, I sadly don't have the confidence that Mirage will be able to hold this one down and maintain their composure throughout the entire 12 to 15 rounds. So I gotta go Sonics for this one. As much as it may pain me to see it, I don't know if Melton's going to the major.
All right, Sonics for Jesse. Jacob, do you believe in Mirage? Do you believe it's not an illusion?
Look, we're not talking about that again. As much as
We'll
I
never
would
stop.
love the storyline of Benji Moolah consistently being the biggest check stealer in North America and then all of a sudden going to a major, I don't really know if this is Mirage's time. I would love it if Reddit immediately got capsized and flipped upside down in that regard, but I think Sonics are the better fundamental team. I think they're a better team on attack than Mirage are on defense in spite of the map that we're going to. And overall, as much as I like the storyline of Mirage having so much of a struggle this year and qualifying for a major out of the blue with 2 new pickups, I think Sonic's 2 new pickups are a little bit better. So I have Sonics going to the major.
All right, another one for Sonics. We'll flip the coin, see what the coin says. It's going to be heads, Mirage, tails, Sonics. Trying to flip it like really high today to like
I've been
fancy
impressed.
final flips. It is heads again. All right, heads, Mirage. I feel like the coin has liked Mirage a lot this year. Now,
I
know
guarantee
we'll have
we say
stats
that at least
later.
once per week.
Well, it's because it's true. It keeps picking Mirage. I wouldn't say it if it didn't keep happening. Well, anyway, there's a pick for Mirage, believing in the major dream, and our fan vote is for Soniqs. Not surprising.
Makes sense.
But there you go. So the thing is in our very last map, the team that had 2 votes ended up winning. So who knows? Based on a whole sample size of 1 on predictions, Mirage has got this in the bag. Our community poll, who is more susceptible to choking now, Mirage or Soniqs?
Definitely Mirage.
I feel it's got to be Mirage. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sorry, Mirage. This is pretty obvious. But you can, of course, go on Twitter and vote for that yourself. But for now, we're taking a quick break here at the studio. When we come back, the game begins. A spot at the Sweden Major on the line. Mirage versus Soniqs. We'll see who takes it right after this.
Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate applying my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably $sign. Got the energy to win in my I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't. It can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary friends, welcome to our second matchup of our very final Playday here in the North American League. Stage 3. It's our final day, that's correct. So we are watching teams qualify for the major, and we got 2 teams that are fighting for 2 spots. Mirage versus Soniqs. The winner of this matchup, no matter what happens, the winner goes to the major. It's that simple. But the loser could still go to the major too. Do you want to talk about how that's possible, Nick?
Yeah, so there's this scenario where the loser, they have a point difference where essentially, if Astralis lose to OXG, even if they lose in overtime, I believe, even if that's the case, then the loser of this match will also go to the major. I believe it's that simple.
Astralis plays OXG in the next matchup.
Yeah.
If Astralis loses, it doesn't matter what happens in this matchup. Astralis must win their game, get all 3 points, guarantee themselves the best shot at going to their 3rd major of the year. Astralis want to keep that streak alive because there hasn't been a ton of consistency. Soniqs could be the team to go to all 3. We'll see if they make it or not. Mirage versus Soniqs now underway. We'll go to Border. Started off on Bank with our very last matchup. TSM securing first in North America for stage number 3. Operator bans coming in quite quickly. Nook, the most banned attacker, banned out immediately. Ying will follow. Always nice to see what Ying can bring to a Border execute. Border is a map that's similar to what we've seen out of Oregon, and whenever map Space Station wants to go to, that you can make a very quick execute happen. Those candelas are so integral for a fast plant. Or if you don't want to get the plant down and the diffuser is not the goal, simply to wipe out your opponents in the middle of the bomb site or on the phalanges of the bomb site. You can use those candelas to great effect. Azami and Valkyrie are banned out. I gotta ask this question.
Okay.
Mirage, you have a card in the game with your org's logo. Why do you use this weird Rick and Morty green background behind the operator cards? You have your logo in the game. Why don't you use it? It's a question, by the way.
It sounded like
that
a
I actually don't know the answer to. I'm just curious. I'm curious what the thought process is behind it.
Maybe they love Rick and Morty. I don't know. I did some double checking the numbers, by the way, Parker. So actually, if Astralis goes into overtime against their and they win in overtime, and Mirage they lose pretty massively against Soniqs, there's going to be a tiebreaker, and it comes down to round diff or like head-to-head or whatever. I'm not sure exactly, but there is a scenario where essentially we could see the Astralis game go OT, and it affect this scenario. Of course, only if Mirage loses. So, yeah.
Crunch the numbers and send them to me. Crunch the numbers, flip them over,
and send them to me.
That's what I want. That's what I want you all to do in terms of tiebreaker potential. Either way, again, we will lay the stakes out in front of you. The winner of this matchup, doesn't matter if it goes to overtime, doesn't matter if it's in regulation, the winner of this matchup will advance to the Jönköping Major. That's occurring next month in roughly about 35, 40 days' time, give or take. Soniqs looking to go as they have to previous majors. For Mirage, this would be their debut, and for most of the players on this team, nay, technically all but Dexter, this would be their LAN debut because Dexter did play that Saudi Arabian event.
With Space Station.
With Space Station, which, you know, I don't count. But I mean, I know there are people who do. So.
That's fair.
Anywho, this is an Armory defense upstairs. Mirage starting on defense, as was pointed out by the desk. Mirage loves their defensive rounds.
Yeah, that's where they're the strongest. They say, I spoke to Dexter about it, they play aggressive, they play front heavy, they just try and really be an issue. You know, not allow the enemies to execute and get comfortable anywhere in the map. This first opening round, Mirage are playing surprisingly passive, just hoping or trying to make a Soniqs problem solve this stronghold that they have. Side of office.
Kento's in a rough spot right now. He's lost one of those mute jammers and will now lose another piece of that very valuable defense, but Gunnar looks the wrong way. Kento starts off the killing, and Mirage gets on the board first.
Again, the aggression there. Instead of falling back, Kento, he swings aggressively, right? Playing for that position to hold it. And that's going to cause Soniqs to waste more resources, more time, and they might even lose more members in the process here. The drone information from Soniqs lacking right now to keep Kento stuck in the corner.
Losing the Osa before even one of those Talon shields can go down. Not great. Kento wasting time. Final minute of the round now occurring. A grenade will sail on in, but there are magnets in front. Kansan still playing this pixel angle, creeping up ever closer. The sound of the suppressor taking out that mute jammer right next to him. Rexen could go in for a side push. Kento still in this spot doing damage. Rexen's been dropped. The read from Mirage is correct, and the Soniqs have been pushed back from their advance. Nice shot from Geo onto Dexter. Could be inconsequential, but Geo and Grixer will have to work together against these four final players from Mirage as Dexter has been taken off of the board. Not a lot of time to work with. We've seen Grixer be able to pull off some insane feats. Same with Rexen. Rexen's in the ground. Geo not known for his clutches, but can still be as cold as ever. Taking quite a while, and they'll just feed themselves right to Melted inside a fountain. And Grixer will wander in through Armory Wall before he gets cut down from Benji, holding that angle. Mirage, once again, proving why they're so strong on defense as they open up this match by taking the first round.
I really want to give Kento some credit on how he played that scenario inside of office after he got that first initial kill. He was not swinging aggressively at 1 HP, you know, just passively dying. He actually just AFK'd holding a tiny angle for about 30 seconds straight. And it really just, again, he's not giving up the ground that he gained for his team. He wants Soniqs to work for it. And when they started working towards it, he got the second kill onto Sledge as well, and just made it even more difficult. And Kento just staying alive throughout that round for as long as he did really makes the difference. I have this saying back from as a player, which is that doing nothing is doing something in Rainbow Six Siege. Just the sheer fact that you are on the board, that your presence is felt in the server, it makes a ton of difference, right? If there's 5 defenders alive, you can cover 5 angles. If there's 4 defenders alive, it's 4 angles only. So just by having that extra gun up, it basically means Soniqs can just walk on in from as many areas because the odds are they'll be covered from those people that are there. First round, Mirage, they are of course a strong defender team as mentioned by both the desk and you, Parker. They need to find success here because Border in general tends in the past to be an attacker-sided map. But the thing about Border is that it plays very similar to Coastline back when that was in Pro League, if you remember, where it comes down to the individual gunfights and the gun skill more than anything else.
Border is actually quite an interesting story with the 4 plays that we've seen so far through the NAL. This will be the 5th time this stage that Border has been brought out. 49% of the rounds won by the defenders, 51% won by the attackers. So technically is an attacker-favored map, albeit by 2%. That's pretty close to 50-50. Only 3 bomb sites that we've seen played. Ventilation Workshop leading the way. That's the bomb site that is not currently being played and has not been played so far by Mirage. It's underwater. 44% of the rounds won by the defense through the 16 plays. Archives and Armory, that upstairs bomb site that we just saw the defenders win, it's been played 14 times. Won by the defense 7. Won by the attackers 7. Exactly 50%. The only defender-favored bomb site is Teller's Bathrooms, which is where Mirage is right now. That sits at 54% of rounds won out of the 13 that have been played.
And we have never seen Customs, basically, because Customs is one of the worst bombs in the entire game across any map. But Dexter, he's mighty fine. Gets a kill onto Kansan. It's Sledge off the board once again early in this round. Rexen is bringing that secondary self-destruction of Buck, so value is still there. But Mirage, they're just holding their ground.
It's the same spot that Kansan perished in the previous round. Good news for Soniqs is it's not the Osa to go down, so you've got those talent shields in play. Buy you a bit of cover if you go to pull off and execute, or if you want the Osa to just slowly advance, then Gunnar can do just that. And he was perched behind one of those talent shields. All the while, Geo has opened up the bomb site, and he can walk in and go for a plant. There's nobody watching from Mirage right now. Not a single set of eyes on Geo's position. If Soniqs can keep them at bay, then Geo's got a free plant to go down. Dexter pushed off of his position as Rexen starts to warm up and finds 2 kills in quick row. Benji finds the Osa. Down goes Gunnar, immediately pivoting. And look towards where Geo is. He misses out onto Grixer. Mirage still in this position. Geo in the middle of the bomb site. That'll come as a surprise for Mohesi. And now the case begins to get planted. It's a 3v2, but with the diffuser going down, it's a 2v2. Benji sloppiness. Geo has to abort the plant before starting again. Kento towards lobby. He sees the Zolfia, can't save Benji at all, but he turns before getting gunned down by none other than Grixer. Excellent play by Soniqs. Good positioning by them. They tie things up.
Geo just really playing it very slow in that round. Like, he was on the bomb side for so long, but didn't really opt for that plan because he didn't want to risk anything going wrong. So they allow Rexen to get those 2 kills up above first, gain a bit of pressure. Then Geo also finds Mo inside of Workshop from that far angle from the bomb side itself, and then we start enabling the plan. You know, spend those 7 seconds. We have 1 gun less on the board to try and get that diffuser down, and they do so successfully. Well played from Soniqs, but the thing is Mirage, they believe they can go to the same bomb site again because that shouldn't happen twice. And you and I were equally surprised at how nobody was really watching for Geo's entry point and how this wall on the left-hand side of your screen, it had no holes in it. That's been changed from Mirage. So I think they too realized that they were missing some crucial shotgun holes that would have made the difference because you can basically see Geo all the way from Customs if you wanted to. But because those holes weren't there, well, that couldn't be done. Geo, free plant, Soniqs, free round.
It's a dizzying amount of numbers on your screen right now. For Mirage, it's very simple stuff. They win, they're in. They lose in overtime, they still have a very good shot of making it. It just depends on that Astralis game. Of course, a regulation loss, then it's 50-50. Either Astralis wins or they don't, and they go through. For the Soniqs, because they have those numbers that you saw on your screen, they win 7-3, they win 7-4, etc.
Yeah.
Chances go up completely differently. Either way, second crack at this bathroom teller's bomb site down on the bottom floor. Statistically, the most defender-sided of all of the bomb sites, and it has a very similar pick rate. As you pointed out, we do not see that Customs bomb site at all. So the pick rates prior to today were 16 attempts at that ventilation workshop, 14 for Archives and Armory, and 13 for Teller's Bathrooms. That is a very close spread of these 3 sites, and it shows that when teams lose certain sites, they still go back. Killing starts quite early, a minute into the round. Benji and Kansan are both gone. Teams find themselves on the same footing, but again, Kansan can make no real progress on this sledge roll. Through 3 rounds, Kansan's impact has been very small, which is out of ordinary for him as a player.
trading the castle with a sledge really favors the defenders, right? Because castle already has all his utility pieces down, he's got a weaker gun. Kansen, again, self-destruction, can open up those castle barricades and has grenades. So I like and love, in fact, that Gunnar has picked a secondary set of grenades on Ayana, and I love that Grixer's on the floors as well, because in case Kansen falls, there are other ways to deal with these pieces of utility. But the thing is, last round, Rex had to find 2 kills up above single-handedly to have a chance for Soniqs. That hasn't happened yet, at least. So what is the answer going to be? Well, might be gone on the flank.
Dexter really liking this spot. Rexen takes engagement to him, but it's a disappearing act. He heads through. Melted, gets swung on by Gunnar. Nice pinch by Soniqs to take control of that top floor. They've got Fountain, they've got Office, they've got a deployable shield in front of their eyes, but do they know what is behind it or not? Mirage able to very safely get out of the top floor, set themselves up for wherever the execute is going to come from. As you pointed out, some small changes made by Mirage to prevent that weakness that was present in the round before. It allowed Gio to just open up a small wall, get in, and immediately get the plant down if he wanted, but instead held court in that side of the room, looking in towards Workshop. Where are the Soniqs going to go? They hold a numbers advantage right now of 1. They're slowly losing the clock.
Yep, they gotta drop the hatch slightly here. It's a safer option because of plant possibilities, but 20 seconds left to go. They gotta go soon. Gio has diffuser case, no cell mass, it's a free gun.
Gio taking some damage right now in the ensuing fray. Still has diffuser in hand, safely positioned. Rexen making everybody pay that comes across him. Grixer in on it as well. It's Dexter above in a 1v4 with 45 seconds as the diffuser goes down. This is where Dexter was before, up top, inside of Office. He sees a tracer on the wall, but he doesn't know exactly where he is. Rexen picks up another big start to this matchup by Rexen. And all of Soniqs, in fact. Yeah, they lost out on that first round. But the defender-favored border that you were hoping for, Mirage fans, has not materialized just yet. And this defender-sided team has yet to show up. Soniqs up 2-1.
I will say Soniqs' small adjustments are massive in impact. I mean, sure, they keep losing Kansen every single round. That stays consistent, but that doesn't seem to be a big issue for them because they still got the other 4 members doing really great work. But, for example, putting Gunnar on that flank-ish role on the armory side of things, so we go for that pinch towards that fallback stage for Mirage, finding just 1 more kill, getting a bit more map control and just doing so much faster, it made all the difference for them. And Mirage, it seems like when they can't just continuously fight their opponent, that's when things get difficult for them. So in the very first opening round when they defended Armory, while Kenta was constantly fighting the enemies of Soniqs, the round ended on that initial attack. But on the following 2 rounds that we just saw on bathroom downstairs, that's not the case. We have a fight here, we stall out. A second fight ensues, we stall out. And that's where Soniqs on these strategical elements of the map are just a little bit further ahead. They're playing a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, and it seems like they know exactly what they want to do going through these rounds. Whereas Mirage, they're just kind of looking for fights. And they can't find them, or they aren't being given those specific fights. They don't really have other ways back into the round. And now we see Soniqs with one of their gimmick rounds, right? The Amaru, Gridlock, Lion. Normally, when we saw a Super back on this roster, it's one of those options you can like go for a fake plant on either the sandwich window, archives balcony, etc. Tons of options.
Yeah, this really is an interesting lineup being brought right now from the Soniqs. It certainly suggests quite a bit of pain, and that's exactly what Gio wants to do, but Benji reads into it. Fast and furious onto the armory wall. Soniqs answering back, even if Mirage to get that very first pick. Gunnar retrieves the diffuser. Wants a plant desperately, and he'll go for it. Is there coverage? From above, Grixer down below, all eyes looking in that direction. Mirage, with 50 seconds into the round, now find themselves battling the clock to get to that diffuser. Soniqs decide to go for it. It works out quite well. Mirage answers back, down goes Gunnar. Diffuser still there. Mohesi runs for the stairs. Grixer's there to punish him. Still in that same position. Dexter, a bit too slow to get to it, and will now suffer damage from the track stingers. Kansen is laid down as he watches the window and takes down Melted. Dexter again, last alive. He decides to ego challenge as he can't get Melted back up. Grixer finds himself at the top of the stairs, and this one is over before it's even started. Soniqs 3 in a row and looking mighty triumphant up to this point. I wonder if it'll prompt a timeout from Mirage.
And again, strategically, Soniqs, they played so well. They saw the heavy office setup, they saw that heavy hold from 2 different bomb sides, and they thought, let's change the pace here, go for a super fast and quick armory execute, and it was almost a save by the Maestro member of Mirage, but because they traded 1 for 1, the rush did not get stopped, the bomb got planted down, and that post plan was too difficult for them, and you're correct, a tactical timeout is being chosen to be taken from Mirage.
I take this for 2 reasons if I'm the coach. Number 1, it just looks like Mirage is already having the same nerves that we saw in their matchup last week. Mirage were a single round away from clinching a spot, and they could not knock out the winless Beast Coast. Beast Coast prevailing 8-7 in overtime. If Mirage had a 1 in regulation, that would have been it. And I mean, granted, Mirage were able to storm back. They were up 5-2 at one point, and then just simply were on the wrong side of a defender-sided clubhouse. But saying it just as a side issue, to me, is not wholly accurate. Because there were very obvious moments that Mirage looked like they were in over their heads and playing too emotionally, which is what happens with these inexperienced teams. They get to a huge point in their season, in their career, etc., they get bogged down by pressure. They get bogged down by expectations, and they mentally lose the battle, even though they are perfectly equipped to win it in the server. Mirage already look like they are the same team that lost to Beast Coast last week. They look rattled, and the Soniqs are taking full advantage of it, pulling off rush strats and pulling off these hard breacherless executes right now, as we're going to see a second in a row from Soniqs where they forego a hard breach entirely. It's possible to do this on border, but it is not orthodox. Usually you want to run at least one of the hard breachers. Soniqs don't need it. They're just going for kills. They're just going for punches, and they're landing all of them. Mirage looks limp, so if you take a timeout, settle them down, get them back in the game, keep their head level.
I'm on the same page as you, because not only against Beast Coast did nerves get to them, but also against Space Station. Mirage, they were on match point for a while, but then it's a comeback. Hansen finds Mo early in the round, takes a trace back onto Gunner. It's a 4v4 still. And Mirage, don't let the nerves get to you. Keep fighting for these rounds. Keep fighting your gunfights, because it's what you're the best at.
There's not a lot of good things that we've seen from Mirage over the last couple rounds, but the one thing that has been a constant through the 5 rounds of action is that the Soniqs have never had an equal opening first blood. It's always been a draw or a first blood for Mirage. So Soniqs have struggled with an advantage. They haven't been able to get it. Still, it doesn't really matter. Soniqs are still winning. If Soniqs can start to get these first bloods, things could go from bad to worse on this Mirage side.
Correct, especially on border. You want the manpower, you want the map presence, because it's a very big map as well, and there's so many different areas. You see security bottom of your screen, armory top of your screen. You care about this entire space, which is why we got that mirror window on the armory wall to try and grant us some lines of sight. We saw Twitch, Rexen proning past the punch hole to try and stay alive, and he does so successfully.
It's the army crawl right there.
Yes. You see pressure from below being applied here from the block of Kansen. Flashbangs coming through, drone information as well, but what can they do? Twitch drone does not hit the canister.
They desperately need this. No Twitch drones remaining from Rexen. It sure seems like he's on his regular drone right now and failing to take out the Black Mirror on this armory wall. It's not the position that they want to find themselves in. Instead, they try to melee it. This is a mechanic that will now blind Benji from being able to see out of it, and he'll get stunned next to it. Dexter far and away for backup. He's been a standout performer for Mirage. Down goes the Gemini behind half wall. 45 seconds to go, and it's Kansen to take an awful beating. Down goes Grixer. Mirage firing back, finding their footing on this armory defense. All their guns coming alive. Dexter, a big double kill. It's Geo in a 1v4. What could he make happen? Limited intel. Nice play. He runs right in. Can make some serious noise here. It really just depends on how Mirage wants to play it out, but Geo actually missing his target. The rest of Mirage just simply waiting.
15 seconds left.
Potential pop-up, but there's 2 separate sets of eyes from Mirage, and they end it. Soniqs, 3 in a row is all they're going to get before Mirage can answer back. We go to the final round now of Mirage on defense and Soniqs on attack.
But how close their round distribution is for attack and defenders being that 51-49 percentile, then, I mean, a 3-3 split would really only be the thing to make the most amount of sense here. And also ties up for a very close series. Mirage is known for how great they are on defense and how arguably weak they are on their attacking side, whereas Soniqs are a bit more stable across the board. So I am very curious to see how things might swap up after this last round for Mirage's defensive side, because this is where Mirage is the most comfortable. It's where they have the biggest game strategy going in, and it's where they thrive. Soniqs, they can play both sides. It all comes down to where they are. They'll play that out. Done so greatly so far. It will be a ventilation defense. It's been the first time for Mirage. They've opted to go back to bomb sites despite losing them. The first round was Armory, they went Bathroom, lost it, went back to Bathroom. They went Armory, lost it, went back to Armory and won it. This final 6 defensive side will be ventilation. Now it plays out similar to that of the Armory bomb site. You go up above a floor, you defend the top. Of course, you do have a bit of a fortification downstairs in the bomb site itself, the deployable shields, shotgun holes, but this right here, this is the money. You need to hold the top floor for at least a little while to slow down the attackers, especially because they got both the bug and the sledge. If Soniqs get top floor control, they can open up all the floor towards the bomb site, and the hatches have already been opened up by the defenders themselves, which means they're under so much pressure that the top floor itself falls. Gunner is in that execution style rush operative Amaru, and Gio is going to bring those Dokkaebi phone calls as well to help you roam clear out the map. Soniqs, they can strike from both fronts, fast or slow. It's their choice.
Most fitting that we can see would be a 3-3 score line, given the way the border gets played out. Again, for those of you that didn't tune in when we were giving you the stats on this map, it's basically a 50-50 defender-attacker sided place to play. So a 3-3 would be pretty in keeping, frankly. It doesn't bode well for Mirage. This is a team that is significantly better on defense than they are on attack. That's where things might get more challenging, and despite a good first round by Mirage, they struggled from here on out. Soniqs might have gone a little too cute on the previous round. Gone with a more traditional lineup this time. Again, absent a hard breacher, but bringing those hard breach charges in the hands of Gunner.
Playing the same stronghold is Mirage. It seems to be the one thing they got going for them quite well, but as I say that, they actually fall off that aggressive offense positions. The wall was no longer reinforced for this particular defense. That means that Kansan now, once he finds out that the members of Mirage have left this area, can just walk on in, start taking that map control. Minute and 20 seconds left. We spoke about it earlier. The verticality from Kansan and Rexon, if they can get top floor control, is going to be absolutely massive for Soniqs.
Dexter backing up, only 3 kills to his name, and there goes the Nitro Cell. Does some damage, but not enough. Again, he disappears. And then that opening created by the explosive allows Kansan to see down below. Oh my, and he's just a bit too late. Kansan not looking like himself so far in this matchup at all. Nick, I wonder if pressure really is on the shoulders of these players. For Soniqs, they've been here before though, so there shouldn't really be any pressure for them. The only player who's really in a position of something new is Gunner.
Calm and collected. Pick out Soniqs on the attacking side. Rusa finds the kills with Kento, but they need more.
That's the very first pick for Soniqs. This is something they've struggled to do so far through this first half, and no answer back from Mirage just yet. So the numbers favoring SQ. Grixer doesn't have any of those EE1D charges left. Dexter goes for the run out, greeted right by the LMG of Gunner. Down he goes. Mirage wanting to get a bit too cute, but it's Mo right now inside a custom, still with the Yokai drones, watching the rest of his team fall by the wayside. Benji batting as best as he can. Mo can be the one to knock this one out, but no! He gets baited over and then pounced upon by Gunner. No 3-3 half is to be had. Soniqs emerge with the lead 4-2.
The thing we can take away from this is that if Mirage wants to make the major, at least in the fashion of winning this matchup and not have to rely on the other matchup of OXG and Astralis, they gotta prove it. If you're down 2-4 starting defense, which is your strongest side as a team, you need to now go all the way in your attacks. You gotta show us that you have fixed the issues, that your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses are now stronger than before, and that they're not as big of an issue as they were in the past. Secondly, you gotta not choke it out when it matters the most. And we have that question, who is more susceptible to choking now, Mirage or Soniqs?
I think this might be quite lopsided. What do you think, people?
Oh! Okay, no.
I don't know if I agree with that.
50-50. I did not expect that.
Good Lord.
Okay.
All right. Well, the people have spoken. The people are never wrong.
See, the numbers are simple. Any win is qualification. And then depending on how you lose, it'll change your exact odds of qualifying.
Win outright, and you go to the major. We will know the third team based upon them winning in regulation. Will it be Soniqs? They seem to be in the better position to do so. Slightly favored attacker-sided map, but given how Mirage has struggled in the past on their attacks, it doesn't really matter what the stats of the map say. Soniqs should be good enough for at minimum 2 rounds. That puts them into overtime position, Nick. So they would, at worst, walk away with a single point, which could be particularly meaningful depending on what happens in that OXG Astralis matchup next. Let's get through this one first, though, before we speculate more.
Oh, the timing. So close. He crosses for free. Could have been a nice kill.
Missing out on that very first bit of action to Gio, who finds himself in maybe not the best place possible. He's got backup here. Still trapped inside of this position. That was a Nitro Cell, and it works on the Benji. That shield's not going to save you now. Could have gotten Kento as well. Mirage almost lost 2 from that single explosive. And that's just because there was no cover from the rest of their teammates. Benji left out to dry.
I like how Gio's been playing this stage with Soniqs. I mean, he's playing such a different position and role than in the past from TSM. And look again, he's getting so aggressive, but it's punished this time. But a great trade back from Rexon, evens the numbers.
Ooh, Rexon with 2 kills onto both Kento and Mohesi. I thought he could have a lineup for a third. Thing is that once you get past Rexon, you still got Kansan right next to him. Gunner's not too far off either. Soniqs have consolidated their defense around Fountain. Mirage finds themselves in a 2v4. A nade goes out, doesn't do any damage whatsoever. There's a Frost as well as a Capkin on the board. Melted a bit of a miss. Rexon picks up kill number 3, and he gets the quad as well as Soniqs pick up round number 5.
Beautiful 4K. I mean, it's very cheeky Frost map because instead of being like right below the window where you expect it, you gotta, tilt it to one side, and we saw the struggle that occurred from that. Nice shots to hit on that as well. 4 kills in the round for him. And the discipline from Soniqs really is the difference maker. Gio plays aggressive, gets rewarded, gets that kill. Then here, aggressive a second time, you think, that's not so good, Gio. But Rexon is right behind him, which we can't see till after that happens. And he gets 2 kills off the trade of Gio. And of course, then finds 2 following afterwards. But just seeing that Gio wants to go for that aggressive play, knowing he can't quite get out, and he's stuck in that corner, they have the communication between them to say, okay, Gio, if you're going to make this play, let's increase the odds of it working out. Let's send the second member. Who's the closest member? Rexon. Okay, Rexon, you go with Gio, figure it out. And they do it. Very, very big key difference between, for example, Soniqs and Mirage. If those roles were swapped, we're likely to see one member of Mirage playing the hero card and trying to make that play himself, whereas Soniqs, they don't want to rely on their heroes. Sure, when they appear, they're there. At Rexon, 11-3 so far in this server, but they don't necessarily depend upon it. It's more like a bonus addition when it appears. Gotta go to bathroom, change things up. They won their first defensive round. Momentum on their side. Soniqs also starting to find these uncontested opening kills now, gaining that man advantage. And you said, Parker, once that happens, that's really when Mirage are going to be in trouble because that's the only real thing they had going for them. They were either winning the opening gunfights or they were equalizing with a quick trade at least, and that's slowly slipping away.
Setups going in. Soniqs are making very quick work of this. The dream for the Mirage Major. Hashtag Mirage Major. For those of you that are out there, fans of this Great White North team, well, they're losing the pulse very quickly. Not Grixer, though. He's actually pulse.
Nice.
Hold on a second. Sorry, I just had to high-five myself.
Okay.
I had to high-five myself there. Spol's still in this position. Down below, it's another bathroom defense. Third time that we've seen this bomb site get defended. Soniqs are 2-0 on it. Bad news for Mirage. Good news for Mirage, though. Soniqs did it on attack. Oh, no. Grixer just a second behind. Almost like there was some kind of sixth sense from Mirage there as they knew the explosive was going to be at their feet. Grixer could have opened things up. Mirage, though, did get that opening pick on Rexen, who's broken double digits, 11 kills, and now Mirage will continue to gun down the remaining players from Sonic. Melted seemed confused by that engagement.
He'll take it once he figures out what happened there, but it is a 5 versus 3. Why not take the free kill sometimes? You shoot down a barricade, you get a kill.
This guy troll.
Sure. Why is he standing there, man? What's he doing? Grixer, the only member of Sonic with a C4, no follow-up with that pulse information. Now, we can expect the defenders of Sonic to play very aggressive and front forward here, because when you're finding yourselves with 2 members down, you have to try and equalize the numbers. You got a minute to go. That's not enough, that's too much time rather, so you gotta win your gunfights, gain back some map ground. That's why Gunner's getting so aggressive.
Oh, and Mohesi drops. Down goes Gunner, swatting away at the players from Mirage, and things will continue to go badly for Mirage in that engagement. They lose Dexter now too. They slay Cans and Grixer. What Jesse say? Often considered by many people to be one of the best players in the world. Who's saying that, Jesse? Well, I guess it's time to test his mettle. Diffuser's down in the very common spot. Sonics know it well. It's where Geo planted it previously. Nice shot from Grixer onto Mohesi. Is there an avenue back in through the bathroom? Yes, there is. Grixer needs to be wary of lobby. He sees it snapping onto the heads of Benji. No way he pulls this off. All he needs to do is wait out Melted. They'll go round in circles. Melted now hears it. On the diffuser, Grixer falls off. Melted crouching down, wasting time, and pops up at the last second. Mirage prevents match point for Sonics, and they're still very much in this game.
That is way too close in a 1v3. I mean, I thought the crossfire established from the open area of the IQ and inside the members at the bottom of the sledge, that would have worked out in their favor, but no, Grixer just hits a disgusting shot twice in a row. And if Gunner hadn't gotten jump-styled on like there, I think that could have been a different outcome. But here, both shots so clean and so crisp. Somebody might have been playing aim lab, maybe too much this time. So normally we see members Potato, not a single missed shot from Grixer in that round. Kansen and Rexen really are bringing the key operators in most of these rounds here. The Mira and the Frost have both played a crucial role so far. The mirror windows themselves haven't necessarily gotten that much value, but that's because the attackers are forced to either deal with them or to simply not deal with them, go somewhere else. But it creates a lot of comfortability for the defenders, right? Strong areas with line of sight, information, and comfortability. The only downside of playing the mirror is that you might get a little bit too stale, stand still for too long, get too comfortable almost in that fortified position, whereas the attackers can just get around you if they go for a quick push. This is that ventilation bomb site. We will be using the advantage of taking the upstairs control. You see the floor has been opened up almost everywhere. So theoretically, you can play 4 if not 5 defenders on the top floor, which is not the bomb site, but it overlooks the entirety of both bomb sites that is right below it. Mirage, they're bringing this blitz, could be a fast one, but if you rush the bomb site, you gotta pray that those 4 smoke grenades between the glass and the blitz can cover enough area for you to plant in, because that's all you got to work with here. And they might just hit it fast. Yep, here we go.
And they're in. Benji sustaining some damage. Mo with the shield on his back, getting the diffuser planted, Melted to cover. Diffuser goes down successfully. Mirage losing Melted in the process. That's repayment for how well he played it out. Geo trying to retake the site, but he can't get past Dexter's watching eyes. Now it's Grixer from above. He's broken double digits, as is Rexen. Rexen will go for the dozen as down goes Dexter. Got to be wary of the blitz, the main door. Benji on a sliver of HP. He could easily be finished off as well, but the Sonics need to figure out where these Mirage players are and who can get to the diffuser to cover in time. Grixer sees the blitz, tosses out an impact, does a little bit of damage to Mo. A hop out from Rexen caught out. Mirage right now answering this back quite well, but there's Grixer to do good work. Benji takes down Gunner. Grixer will need to clutch, but he's got 2 players to look at. He's in the same position he was in before, but the timer is too low. Mirage steals around away with that early rush. The Sonics had no chance whatsoever. And it's a 1-round game. Mirage trails the Sonics 4-5.
That was incredibly close. I don't know if you might see like a replay of the diffuser timer, but I think it was sub 1 seconds on that counter diffuse from Sonics. They almost had the retake, but now that Mirage are kind of running away with these rounds so confidently, well, they're going to call for their own tactical time to figure things out before we tie things up, because they need this regulation win. That's what they want. That's what they're going for. They don't want to force or risk anything in OT. And I mean, Mirage, we spoke about the nerves and the pressure, but going for that specific of a rush on this round number 9, that speaks the opposite all of a sudden. They're showing that they're going all the way, taking the risk, seeing opportunities, and then taking them. Because going for a glass blitz rush on a ventilation bomb site is a 100% gamble on that 7-second plant timer. If it goes down, you expect to win the round. However, if blitz somehow dies in the midst of that smoke, and to be fair, Javi's buddy was sticking out, that entire round could go sideways so quickly. It's a very well done job by Mirage, although be it very close with that counter defuse. 5-4, still in favor of Soniqs. We are seeing similar lineups being brought from both teams now. Back to stable, non-gimmicky operators. No more rushing around and going for one-offs. We're back to basics. Gerxer will grant information for his team. Follow-up C4 this time for Kansen, so Pulse can use his scanner. Muzzy can help him out. Rexen continuously bringing out the Frost here to alleviate the window jump-ins, give information to shoot the Frost traps, etc. for audio cues. Gunnar bringing out Capcan can be annoying to deal with, especially if you're going too fast in towards the building. Drone work has to be great for Mirage, or they'll have to use Benji's IQ scanner to try and find where those traps might be, to therefore not get half their health bar chunked away from them.
"20 seconds in still in Discovery right now. Late setup from Soniqs, extending into the live action phase. Always like to see when teams take a little bit longer to get their footing, and, well, it gets taken full advantage of by a very aggressive team, as we saw from Mirage in the previous round. I mean, if you take 20 to 30 seconds to still do setup, they could very easily be in the building. I don't know where Gunnar was jumping out, but he decided to go for it. It's the Claymore to get the kill. Ooh, at the top of East. Gunnar has these games where he flies a little bit too close to the sun, if you want to call it that. Either that or he's a world beater. Again, good news for Soniqs. You got Grixer and Rexen combining for 24 kills through these 9 rounds of action. That's a mighty fine tally.
That is certainly a high number indeed. Now we see that the Kansen and Pulse doing work together, I presume. Actually, it's just Kansen, just fishing, I suppose, with the C4 instead, as the Pulse is elsewhere on the map this time around. We're scouting, playing off audio. Dexter getting aggressive on the top of main stairs, does not find the kill, but does a bit of damage back and forth.
Oh, he doesn't find it, but Soniqs definitely do. Rexen and Kansen taking care of Dexter and Mo. Mirage had that advantage because of the Claymore, but none of their guns are actually finding their marks. It was just a gadget sitting outside to claim this single kill for Mirage. Soniqs will move to match point if they prevail here in this round.
See here, it's a 4 versus 3 situation. Mirage is slowly creeping up that map control, but the thing is, the time is almost working against them. A minute to go, and they still got more work to be done. Of course, Captain Traps, they might play a part here, but Benji is doing a good job at finding most of them with this IQ operator.
A drop could be had on this bathroom take by Mirage. 45 seconds. Within range of being able to drop through those hatches, but you can't go for that same play through the lobby the way that you did before. Soniqs will be prepared for it. It's happened twice so far in this matchup. Once to Mirage and then to Soniqs again on that second defense from SQ. Rexen's in that fabled spot. You see some of the walls been shot out, so if somebody goes to push from that direction on Mirage's side, it might be to their undoing. All Soniqs needs to do, wait. That's it. It's as simple as. And they've got an extra pair of hands to deal with this. Kento for the hatch. It's Geo to stop him. Another's up there, but he doesn't get that kill. It's Rexen to get it as Melted jumps in. It's an impactless kill, and Rexen picks up 2 to send Soniqs to match point.
They can feel it. They're getting so close. I mean, smiles on their faces now too, and the hype is getting there. One more round for Soniqs. A couple more for Mirage. Now it really is all or nothing, because one more mistake, one more round going away from you if you're this side of Mirage, it's over. That means Soniqs, they take invigilation. Now you can still qualify depending on the next outcome of between Astralis and Oxygen, but for this particular head-to-head, they need a victory to go to the major right here and right now. Both teams are still in it. Armory Archives is the next bomb site up for the task. Grixer is going to get aggressive on the alibi, get this man a good gun. He will find you a kill or 2, I am sure. Rexen has not changed off the Frost, and why should he? It's working out so well for him. Kansen bringing out those Banshees from Melusi to alleviate any creeping around lurking members of Mirage, rather, looking for any easy intro kills. We're sticking with the Capcom trap, we're sticking with the mirror, we're keeping things simple. Mirage has to answer back. So far they're showing the Ossa could be the operator of choice to try and get inside, but look at these aggressive mirror windows. Armory, hard to attack. Archives, hard to attack because this fountain wall as well. No matter where you're going to be attacking from right now, if you are Mirage, you'll be staring down a mirror window. Sure, you got Mo with those Selma charges, you can try and clear them out, but there are so many different positions that Soniqs can use to help peel anything off. Gunnar has a spare impact, you have 2 on Grixer, C4 from the mirror, and of course any line of sight people on the map can shoot off those Selma charges right off the mirror window. So you got a problem solved now if you're Mirage.
All right. It's a nice play by Gunnar. Is he in a similar position to go for a run out? He did it before. The Claymore got him last time. Hasn't been able to have the impact that he wanted, especially on attack. Gunnar was picked off first. In terms of who got the first kill in the round, so far the Soniqs only have 2 unanswered first bloods through 10 rounds. That is dreadfully bad. And yet it just doesn't matter. They still have the lead. Either they've traded or allowed Mirage to start things off hot. But Soniqs have kept it close and prevailed through the mid to late rounds. What'll happen this time? Gunnar came tantalizingly close to picking off 2 separate players of Mirage as he's still defending security. Mirage need to be very well coordinated about this, but Gunnar gets the very first pick and immediately hits the deck. There's a frost mat to the window, and if somebody from Mirage jumps in without thinking about it, that'll be another pick for Soniqs. Only 4 more kills for SQ to guarantee their spot at the Fall Major.
That opening kill right there is going to make Mirage's life so much harder because now you're fighting against the odds and you don't have anyone droning, no information. You're bucking blind below, Mo swinging blind horizontally as well. And
who did you say blind? Mo blind. Oh, so no! There's the frost mat as Melted hops on in. Mirage kept the numbers close. It's still very close. Only 4 players left in the server, 2 apiece. 1 minute left. 1 minute.
Blind.
Mirage are the masters of their destiny in this matchup. They lose and they are at the mercy of OXG and Astralis in the very next match. Soniqs just need to sit and wait again. Benji and Dexter to work together. Dexter having a bit of a slower second half. Picked up 3 kills in the first half. Only 1 for Dexter since then, really struggling on offense. Same with Kansen. A very quiet game from Kansen again. Uncharacteristically like him. Doesn't matter though, Soniqs have that depth, and right now they have 30 seconds to wait it out. They can punch their ticket to going to the major. Dexter waiting, Mirage being exceptionally patient, but patience is not what you need right now. You need to find that accelerator, and you need to get into the bomb site quickly. Benji attempts, taking damage in the process. Gio looks away, down he goes, Kansen's in, and it's all of a sudden Dexter to die. Benji with the diffuser down, Gio will need to clutch. The newest member of the Soniqs with the Nitro Cell to go out, and he just needs to wait out the clock. The Soniqs are the 3rd team from NA to qualify for the major. They joined Space Station and TSM. That 7-4 victory is more than good enough.
It's beautiful to see Gio being that final member in that 1 versus 1 to kind of put them towards the major. Of course, he joined from the TSM squad onto Soniqs, and Gio is the most experienced member of this roster. He's played so well. He's been a great addition to Soniqs, and Soniqs as a team overall seem much more dynamic than they were in the past, and I think the roster change overall has been great for them.
Well, well, well. I mean, still smiles on the faces of Mirage. I don't know if they were expecting to get this close to the major, frankly, especially with this new roster. Mirage were in the basement of North America for the 2 previous stages. The fact that they got this close at all is huge cause for celebration. I mean, we're not writing the obituary for Mirage just yet. This stage and the major are still alive for them. All it depends on is OXG Force versus Astralis, and that's up next. Congratulations to the Soniqs for making it. We'll see you in a month's time in Sweden. As for you, the viewer, that's it for Nick and I here at the NAL. Blue and Stokes will be guiding you the rest of the way, and maybe, just maybe, Might be a small surprise. Who knows?
Oh.
OXG versus Astralis up next. We're going to toss to a break. We'll see you in a few.
I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red run when I tell a peace. Love is love. Love is love. Hold up with it, got my back on Pippin. I'm back in kitchens with the tray. Windows tinted like how black my skin is. Scoop the shorty in it from a J. Swish, she got vision just like any women giving me the kitten. Way before the riches, nothing more to mention. I could light a block of powder or a glisten. Boring on my body, that's a Gora linen. I came through dripping Aquafina. I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make bitches, I'm on my business. Stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red run when I tell a peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Love is love. Love is love. Adios.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate applying my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I...
And as you can see, with that win, the Soniqs have qualified for the Sweden Major. They got it done. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rainbow Six North American League Analyst. That's your host, Dowie, here along with Jesse and Jacob. And in Las Vegas, we have Gunnar standing by to chat with us a little bit about that last map there. Gunnar, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, doing really good. Congratulations to you, obviously doing good after that win, securing the spot in the major. Where's your mind at going into your first major ever? What are you thinking now that it's secured?
Dude, I'm just glad it's secured. I was not ready for a back-to-back stage of being one game off, so I'm happy it's secured, and I'm just glad that we bounced back after that rough week we had last week. We played our game.
Nice.
Yeah, Gunnar, I wanted to dive into that a little bit more because obviously you guys started so strong. You were top of the league for the first couple of weeks, and then last week happens, you lose both matches, you collect 0 points. What went wrong in week 4, and how did you bounce back here in this game against Mirage?
I think with week 4, it was more so I don't know what really caused it, but we just weren't really playing how, we usually would like to. We were a lot slower than usual. Maybe it was nerves. I know I was, a little like, oh, one more win and we make the majors. So I definitely think it affected me a little bit. But just like, we had a talk after that. No one was mad after the losses. Let's just go back to how we're playing with us, just kind of just work plays, play loose, play comfortable, have fun. I don't think we were really having fun. Eyes were kind of low, but we bounced back.
In the span of a year, you've gone from the T2/T3 trenches to a PB team that you said was 1 game off of making the major last stage, to now doing this with the Soniqs, and you're already going to an international event. Are you getting any kind of whiplash from this being such a quick transition up to the top, or how have you been liking the approach on Soniqs so far?
I mean, it's surreal. I don't even have like words to describe it. I remember a couple months back being in my room, shaking if I'm about to make this pro team, and then a couple months in the future, I'm on Soniqs and I'm making a major in my first or my second stage. So you know, it's a crazy feeling. It's all happening hella fast, or super fast. Sorry.
We'll forgive you this time. So in light of that, what would you say is one last question for you? What would you say the biggest thing is you learned as a player in sort of your journey this year?
Just to relax. Like, there's no reason to just put the amount of pressure some people put on you, and I definitely got affected from that. Always, you know, worried about what people think, what people are saying. So, you know, just sitting back, relaxing, just having fun playing the game that, you know, you're crazy. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're going to have bad games, you're going to have good games, but just to relax, seriously. I think that's my biggest thing.
All right, yeah, well, it's great advice for aspiring pros and great advice for anybody out there on the ladder, too. So thanks for the input. Congratulations on the win and making the major. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Thank you. All right, wow, headset off, he's gone. He's off to celebrate.
He made it,
why
man.
shouldn't he, right? Soniqs, 7-4 over Mirage. They are going to Sweden in Mirage now. They gotta wait, see what happens in our next series.
Fantastic bounce back. We were a little worried about Soniqs after the performance that they showed last week, but Rexon and Grix are coming back into form. We highlighted in the pre-show how these two players really didn't have the week that we expected from them last week. They've been the best players on Soniqs throughout the stage. Now for them to show up for the most important match that Soniqs have played all stage long, qualifying for the third major here in stage 3 to Sweden. Really well done by them.
Look, man, Geo leaves TSM, gets back on another team, makes the major. TSM themselves have also made the major, and it's also the old E United squad still managing to pull this kind of stuff off in spite of it being a much longer trek than any of them would have anticipated to get here. Like Gunnar said, you can hear the relief in his voice where he's like, God, we finally got it secured. Thank God we don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And yeah, it might have been a bit of a weird fall off for the Soniqs last week, but that is the kind of mental fortitude that I don't really think they showcased in Berlin. They were on the ropes for a lot of it. They didn't really know how to come back into it when they were down early in that major. Hopefully this stage is enough of like building blocks for when you go to Jönköping, you'll actually be able to handle it a little bit better than last time. That's the hope anyway. So congratulations to SQ.
Well, you know, speaking of building, speaking of, you know, trying to take what you've learned and improve on it, I feel like we can look at Mirage a little bit and talk about that too. In fact, that's how we're going to start our replay section. We've got round 9 from Mirage, and we're going to talk about some stuff Mirage did well. They still are in contention. They still are a threat.
So this is that rush round that we saw from them attacking onto Vents that is just such a close one that we had to catch it in slow motion. Gunnar gets on the disable, and they need to panic to stop him from getting this, right? They're going to push in with the blitz Mohesi in through the front door, and then Benji's going to jump in through the window. Watch how close this gets. 1 second on the counter disable swing, that's like 0.2.
Wow.
Very, very close as Benji just barely finds Gunnar. Sliver of an HP, does die, but then time is low enough. Kento can easily clutch that one out just by hiding outside. So close in those little moments, and obviously ended up still being a loss for Mirage overall, but those are the microscopic moments inside of Siege that can sometimes make or break.
It was mostly a speed thing for Mirage. When they decided to really take the fight to the Soniqs, whether it's early game on a rush strat like that or the round right before then where they were trying to push aggro into bathroom and make something work, they ended up winning both of those rounds. But their answer to their own attacking problems was, how do we utilize speed more effectively? I think if it's not a 4-2 half and we see more attack rounds come from Mirage, maybe there's a chance that they pull more of this back. They have more opportunities to showcase what they can do on attack. But that was the concern we had for this game, and ultimately it proved to be their downfall.
Well, it's interesting, too, because Mirage is one of the teams that I think came into this one with the most overtime losses as well. They had a lot of games. They could have easily been something like 7-1 coming into this one, right? But 3 overtime losses, they were so close, but yet so far has kind of been the story of Mirage for a lot of Stage 3. We'll see if that applies to their major hopes after the last one. But for now, let's take a look at another replay here. This one is round number 11, and this one just came down to a pretty epic 2v2.
Yeah, it was a little long and drawn out, right? We took a moment. The first 6 kills happened pretty early on. We had a lot of time. At this point, we're set up from the side of Mirage. They're going to push in through Metal. They're going to push in through Beepers. Of course, they've got Benji kind of over by the security side right now. They've droned in their players, and I really want to notice, sure, it's going to be opening pick for Mirage. Dexter gets this fight. Really well done to Kansan. But Geo plays his 1v2 so well. Immediately swings for the trade. Benji a little bit late. And then what does he do? Benji starts to plant. Not a bad move at all. You got to put that pressure on. C4 gets ripped. Benji here hears it, this is a no-win situation. If he sticks the plant, he gets blown up by the C4, he loses the round. If he gets off of it, he pushes it, Rexon falls back. Really well played by him. Big reason why by Geo, why Soniqs were able to win this round. Really impressive finish there coming in from Geo.
I mean, you said if Benji can finish that swing, it's just microscopic timing. If Benji moves into Armory a split second faster, then he has the cross on Geo as soon as Buck comes right back up metal. He's in beepers as soon as that happens. There's a much higher chance that Mirage actually pulled that one back, but instead it turns into the round that the Soniqs use to clinch their own major spot. So there's good things that we can look at. It's just all crazy timing. And I think I heard Parker say something about Geo not known for clutches. Slander, my dude. He did it on TSM, he did it here. Geo has absolutely stolen the server like he always has been.
Well, on the top of that, the Soniqs have punched their tickets to the Sweden Major. Mirage, though, waiting in the wings, waiting on the result of our third game of the day, and that is going to be Oxygen taking on Astralis. It's going to start on NAL right after this.